Doi Moi, the policy that made modern Vietnam. As the famous Vietnamese-American Pulitzer Prize-winning novelist, Viet Thanh Nguyen, and many others have famously said, Vietnam is a country, not a war. The Vietnam War, or as the Vietnamese call it, the American War, is sometimes referred to as the first war where the losers wrote the history. When Vietnam is searched, be it on Google, YouTube, Audible, or your local library's database, almost all the results seen will be about war, whether with France or the US. The story of Vietnam thus begins with French occupation and ends with scenes of soldiers and civilians frantically trying to jump onto helicopters as the Viet Cong capture the South. But then, what happened? In the post-war years, Vietnam was heavily dependent on the Soviet Union and had an economy that was modeled off the other communist economies. Facing sanctions from the US, disputes with China and the Soviet Union's struggling economy in the 80s, Vietnam was in need of economic reform. In 1986, the government implemented the Doi Moi, roughly translated to restoration policies. These would focus on liberalizing the domestic market, encouraging foreign direct investment, lessening subsidies for state-owned enterprises, and education reform. In short, the transformations made the government less ideological and more pragmatic. With the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, some thought this would spell doom for Vietnam, but to the contrary, it presented an opportunity to resume relations with other parts of the world. In 1991, Vietnam normalized relations with China, then with the US in 1995, and in the same year, entered ASEAN. The more pragmatic approach led to greater internal stability, which led to more FDI and an increase in tourism. This boom to the economy allowed the government to spend more on national defense, which gave rise to yet more stability and less insecurity about opening up for trade. This upward cycle has led to Vietnam going from a poverty rate of 70% in the mid-1980s, to 37% in 1998, down to 19% in 2007, and finally down to 4.8% in 2020. More jaw-dropping statistics have come out of Vietnam during this time span, such as an annual average economic growth rate of 6.5% from 1986 to 2006. 40 million people lifted out of poverty from 1993 to 2014, average annual growth in foreign trade of 23% from 2000 to 2008, and most recently, 29.67% growth in exports in 2021. In 2018, Vietnam yet again shocked many with the results of the PISA tests. Placing 4th in science, 13th in reading and 24th in math, Vietnam has proven its education system can compete with any. This has led to a ranking of 10th for most engineers graduated per year, with over 100,000 entering the workforce each year. What separates Vietnam from other top-performing countries is that the cost of labor is just $2.99 per hour. This means that unbelievably cheap products in even industries requiring high levels of skill, such as electronics and machinery, can be imported from Vietnam. Assuming the trends that began with the implementation of the Doi Moi policies in 1986 continue, these low prices won't last for long. However, for at least the 2020s, Vietnam is likely to become the +1 in most companies' China +1 strategy. My name is Alan Hurry and I work at VTrust Inspections as Business Development Analyst. For more information about Vietnam and third-party inspections, please visit www.vtrust.com or search for me on LinkedIn.